how to stay healthy while traveling on a plane. By the time this video is over, you're gonna learn some great tips for staying healthy no matter how often you fly. First, you're gonna learn what you should do ahead of time to prepare before flights. Then I'll share my tips for great skin and body, even during flights. And then lastly, I'm going to share my secret weapon for feeling good after back-to-back flights when most of us are pretty achy. You're ready to get started? Let's go. So tip number one for staying healthy while flying on planes is to plan ahead. You don't just pack your bag, show up to the airport and think, all right, I want to be healthy now. It takes a little bit more planning than that. One of the things you're gonna have to think about are what are the snacks that I will need to eat along the way? Are you going to need to eat a meal before you get to the airport? If you were to leave out right now, would you eat as soon as you get to the airport? If so, and you're not a long distance away from the airport, I would suggest eating at home before you go. Eating at home ensures that you're more likely to have a healthy, balanced choice than when you get to the airport, where they may have minimal options, or you could even find yourself being tempted by the yummy smell of something that's a little naughty. So eat at home first, and then pack snacks. If you know that you're going to need maybe some breakfast bars or maybe some type of baked chips or something, don't count on buying that at the airport, get it ahead of time. So I'm gonna share you some of the things that I travel with as snacks. Now, some of you are gonna be like, ooh, that sounds good. And others of you are gonna be like, this sounds gross, Crystal. That's okay, adapt it to you and it works for you. So some of the things that I travel with as snacks is I have individual packages of olives. I know that might sound weird, but they have some good fat in them, and I find that they do a pretty good job of holding me over. I also travel with these seaweed chips. It's almost like these little sheets of seaweed that come in a little package. They tend to be very flavorful, and they also help hold me over. In addition to that, dried fruits, nuts. I tend to travel with packs of almond or peanut butter where you can literally just open the little pack and squeeze it in your mouth. That's something that can give you a good source of protein, and it actually kind of fills you up and sticks to your ribs. I travel with protein powder in individual packs, so I can add those to a little bit of water, or if there's almond milk or something at the airport, I could add that too, but that way I instantly have a protein drink. There's all kinds of different snack options that you can pack. Breakfast bars are another one. Granola, but I have to share something with you if you don't already know this. Most granola is not very healthy, but you can check and see if you have a healthy granola option. The fact of the matter is you want to show up with all the snacks you can possibly need so you're less likely to rely on the unhealthy things around you. The good news is many of the airports in the larger cities are already stocking up on more healthy items than they used to, but that can't be counted on everywhere. And some of the smaller airports or the regional airports don't really have much by way of healthy options at all. So pack snacks, it's going to help you be healthier on the road, or in the air in this case. Tip number two, avoid caffeine, alcohol, and stay hydrated. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, Crystal, they'll serve you coffee on the plane. I love having a little cocktail on the plane. It kind of helps with the nerves. I'm not saying you can't have these things at all, but ideally, if we're talking about the goal of staying healthy, you want to minimize these items because going up in an airplane dehydrates you. It dries you out. Your skin even starts to feel different. If you take a lot of flights, you'll see what I'm talking about with your skin. It's doing that inside of you as well. So drinking as much water as you can before you get on the plane and drinking as much water as you can on the plane will give you a more healthful experience. But yes, if you have bad nerves and your way of dealing with it is having a little glass of wine or something, that's fine. But ideally, you want to stay away from the booze and you want to stay away from the coffee and caffeinated sodas. Let's look at my third tip for you, and that would be to wear compression socks. Now, I already know there's going to be some of you that are like, oh, that's for old people. You know, who wants to wear compression socks? That looks silly. Well, let me tell you something. If you want to avoid blood clots and a host of other blood-related issues, compression socks are for everyone. So if you're taking longer flights or many flights in succession, I highly suggest that you look into buying compression socks and wear them on your flights. Maybe you don't feel as cool, maybe they're not quite as comfortable, but if the goal is health, that's going to go a long way. We're talking about how you stay healthy on flights, but maybe you're also interested in travel hacking. How do you even get some of these great flights to begin with? If so, I do have other videos on how to travel hack and get good deals so that you can get great flights. If you're interested in that, go ahead and look for some of those videos on the channel so that you can not only have access to information on how to be healthy on the flight, we want to get you on more cool flights as well. My next tip is to maintain good posture. We live in a world now where many of us are working from home, we're sitting at desks, and so you've probably noticed over the years we're all hunching over a little bit more. Well, guess what? When you do that on planes, it has a much stronger effect on your body than it does when you're on the ground. It has to do with a few different forces that are affecting you when you're on planes, but just take my word for it. Slouching on a plane is worse than slouching in your office. So try to maintain good posture as much as humanly possible. If you have to travel with a small lumbar pillow, go for it. If you need to get one of those pillows for your neck. So here's one of my travel secrets, and it's gonna sound a little strange, but it is something that I do. So many of you have seen the little pillows that go around your neck, right? If you've noticed, if you fall asleep, that doesn't really do anything for you. I mean, it keeps your neck from completely doing this, but how often does your ear touch your shoulder when you fall asleep anyways? It's only gonna go this far. The pillows usually hit it here. Doesn't really help you that much. But if you were to go onto Amazon or to websites that have medical type equipment, there are pillows you can buy where basically it's like 3 rings and there's a little pump to it. What you do is you strap it around your neck, there's a little Velcro, and you pump it up so that it almost looks like those collars from the Renaissance where they have the collars that go up to here. I pump my pillow up so that it actually slightly stretches my neck. What happens if I fall asleep, my neck doesn't move because it can't move. And sometimes I do it even when I'm wide awake just to keep me from looking at a phone or a device down here. Since my head is here and I can't move it down, it makes me automatically move it here. And those devices are less than $30. They're not very expensive at all. So if we're talking about maintaining optimal health, posture is a big piece of it. Now we've touched on this next piece just a little bit, and that is to order healthy meals or bring your own. So I mentioned packing snacks, but did you know you can bring whole meals with you on planes? The trick is that now with TSA having rules around liquids, you have to make sure that it's the right consistency. So you can't bring your own soup on a plane. That's not gonna make it through security unless you bought it at the airport after you went through security. You can't bring something that's really mushy like potatoes if it's too soft, because they might say, it's kind of like lotion or cream. They get kind of strange about these things. We gotta get it through security. However, you absolutely can bring your own salad. You absolutely can bring your own full meal in a Tupperware container, right? So I do this all the time, but I will say I do believe in being mindful of other passengers. So if we're gonna do that, let's not bring something that has a really strong scent. Something might smell really, really good to us because it's our food and we think it's yummy, but it might make someone else on the plane queasy. So let's be mindful of the smells of our food, but we can definitely bring our own food. And I'll even share something else with you. Sometimes I bring my own food even when I'm sitting in first class. I know I'm gonna be in first class. I know they're gonna serve a full meal, but I'll still bring my own food because I know my food is healthier than what they're going to offer. Now we have 2 more tips to go. We've already talked about the importance of staying hydrated because we can get kind of dry inside from flying on planes. The other thing we wanna do is stay moisturized because we can get dry on the outside too. Again, if you've taken a lot of flights, you know that by the time you're done, you're like, what happened? You could have been in great condition beforehand. So make sure that you bring some great travel size moisturizers that work for your skin. Everyone's skin is different. So I like things that are shea butter. And when I say shea butter, I don't mean the things you buy in store where it's like 1% shea butter and it doesn't really do anything. It's like 5% fragrance. I bring like shea butter from the motherland, and I put it on me and it works really great. For some people, that's a little too thick for their skin. Whatever works best for you, but you want something that is highly hydrating that you can rub onto your skin before the flight, possibly during the flight if you feel it getting dry, and even after the flight. I've been on back-to-back flights over the last week, jumping from country to country, and right now my hands, even though they're not dry, they're drier than normal. So I'm constantly re-lotioning my hands or re-shea buttering my hands to get that moisture back. Make sure that we're staying moisturized. You don't want that to build up because then you're gonna feel like you just drug your hands across the concrete. No one wants to touch that by shaking your hand in a business deal, and certainly no one you're in love with wants that hand on their face. It's gonna scratch. Okay, so my very last tip for you is something that I swear by. I don't know when this started, maybe about 5-7 years ago, but now at many of the major airports, they have airport massage studios. Now I wanna be sensitive to the fact that maybe we're not all working with the same financial situation, and that's fine, there's no judgment. But if you can afford it, using those before or after a flight can make a huge difference, especially if you're doing a great deal of flying. If you're doing a lot of back-to-back, what I like to do is go to one of those studios in between different cities. And when I say back-to-back, I'm not talking about connections, although you could have a long connection where that's possible, but I mean when I'm one city today and maybe another city tomorrow and maybe another city the next day. Getting massages in between help loosen up my muscles so that I'm not building more and more tension as I'm going from flight to flight. So you may want to consider using one of those. Even if it's just for a quick 15-minute massage, it can be incredible. Or maybe you want to end your trip by getting a massage in the last airport you're in just to loosen you up and get you ready to do business in this other city. So those massage places inside of airports are a lifesaver. And the more relaxed you are, the more healthful you'll feel, the better you'll move, the better your posture will be. Now, one of the reasons why we're talking about all these tools of staying healthful as we're flying is because we're making business deals. We're doing things and networking with people so that we have a more positive future. Speaking of that future, I have a tool for you. If you go in the description of this video, you're going to see a link to download the Future Ready Playbook. This is a tool that I created for you that's full of worksheets as well as activities that will make you think more strategically about planning for your future. Whether we're talking about your personal goals, your career goals, or if you're a business owner, your business goals as well. If you haven't already downloaded it, go ahead and download it right now.